Hello fellow Cravers, GD here to bring you this week's episode of The Update, keeping you updated with the top 3 gaming news stories, the top 5 games, new releases and game events coming this week. Also, if you want to skip to a certain section of the video, just click on the labelled section to the right. Now it's time for the top 3 news stories of the week, starting with number 3. Skullgirls Encore is headed to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita this year. Developer Lab Zero Games CEO Peter Bartholo announced this week on the PlayStation blog. The new versions will include all the downloadable characters and stages available on existing platforms. The PlayStation Vita version will also be compatible with the PlayStation TV micro console and support local multiplayer with 2 players and DualShock 3 or DualShock 4 controllers. Lab Zero Games relaunched its 2D fighting game as Skullgirls Encore on the PlayStation Network this February. Originally released as Skullgirls in 2012, the game switched publishers, developers and names and expanded in its 2 years history. The fighting game is also available on the Xbox 360 and Windows PC. Talking about Skullgirls Encore, what is the square root of a fish? According to a recent Twitter conversation between one Skullgirls Encore player and developer Lab Zero's, piracy. Dan Hibiki received a strange message after beating the game. He tweeted an image of the text to the official Skullgirls account, which responded with, "Oh, that! It means you should probably buy the game instead of pirating it." Hibiki apologized for his piracy, while Lab Zero told him to try to do the right thing eventually. When Hibiki asked about plans for additional versus modes, adding that he assumed they'd be pretty cheap, Lab Zero said there were no current plans. Nothing is ever cheap or free, the developer said. Skullgirls Encore isn't the first game to chastise pirates with a tongue-in-cheek method. Games developer Sim Game Dev Tycoon pirates found their business failing, ironically, after consumers pirated their virtual games. Destiny's beta will run for 8.5 days on the PS3 and PS4 and 4.5 days on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, publisher Activision announced this week. Sony confirmed during its E3 2014 press briefing that the beta would begin July the 17th on the PS3 and PS4, and Microsoft announced later that month that the beta would arrive later in July for the 360 and Xbox One. Activision gave specific details this week. While the beta will begin at different times, it will end on all platforms at 7:59 AM on Monday, July the 28th. PS3 and PS4 owners with beta access will be able to stop playing at 6 PM on July the 17th, and they'll be able to keep going until the end of the beta period, except for 2 days maintenance window. Destiny developer Bungie will take the beta offline from July the 21st to the 22nd. The studio will open the beta up again on July the 23rd, when it will go live at 6 PM on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and continue for the PS3 and PS4. Bungie released a new trailer this week specifically for Destiny's beta, which you can see in the background. Also, the studio has announced 2 special editions for the game, along with an expansion pass which include 2 post-release expansions. Destiny is set for release on September the 9th. Players in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, reimagined versions of the Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, will be able to build, customize and share their own personal areas with the Secret Base feature, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company International announced this week. The area lets users create mazes and traps for visitors to interact with, set Pokemon battle rules and transform their secret base into their own Pokemon gym. Players will be able to share their secret base with other trainers through the Street Pass functionality or via a QR code. When visiting another player's base, users can invite the other trainer back to their own secret base as secret pals. The more secret powers a player has, the more special skills available to help them. Secret powers can interact, battle, and support players in various aspects such as share decorations, make a Pokemon egg hatch faster, or raise the level of Pokemon. Bases also contain flags that visiting players can capture, which are located in the secret PC at each base. Collecting flags boosts a player's rank and offers rewards such as improving secret power skills. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire are set to launch on the Nintendo 3DS worldwide this November. Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire originally launched late 2002 on Game Boy Advance in Japan, followed by a release in North America in early 2003. Now it's time for the UK Top 5 Games of the Week.
What have you been up to, Blasco heads?
Shooting, stabbing, strangling Nazis.
A spazio verticale, Balotelli, che gol, splendida rete.
So that's it for the top 5 this week. If you want to see where the game is in the top 20, just click on the link in the details below. There are no new retail releases this week, so go and enjoy your back catalogue of games. I know many of us have. And for game night, we have one. We're going to be playing Worms Battleground on the PS4 on Monday the 14th at 9 PM. Also, if you haven't noticed it yet, there is now a CTG podcast pilot available on the Crave Your Game website. Go listen. So that's it for this week. Tune in next week to get updated on gaming news, the UK top 5 new releases, and upcoming game nights for the week on The Update.